guys. Welcome back to Two Girls, One Bong.
The podcast that's better if you're stoned, and I will just absolutely smother you with my bare hands if you're not. My name's MacDizzle.
I'm Joya. Let's dive on in. Smothering with bare hands sounds good.
I will blow some bubbles for anyone who's watching the video of this.
They're so cute.
Some whimsical bubbles in your life.
They're tiny.
I know. Look at how small the little thing is.
Oh my gosh, they are so little.
All right, cool. Bubble break done. Now,
gorgeous.
Let's smoke some weed, right?
Yes. Get into it.
This is going to be a continuation from our last week's episode. How many people do we have left? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we're going to get through these ones quicker today. We're going to read through them quicker. We're going to do less reflection, quicker reading.
Period.
And maybe we should take a bong rip for like every 2. So that we can just
like a plan. I forgot that we did that last week. I do not have the sort of day today that I can take 18 bong rips. I have something to do after this. So
maybe we'll I'll take more bong rips than you. So every 2, one of us will take a bong rip and I will take more than you. How's that?
Okay, that's perfect. Perfect.
Great.
Thanks, MacDizzle.
All right, so we're starting off. Oh, shit. Yeah, we need to get fucking high first.
Duh.
Hello. Oh my God, I have no weed in here. I'm going to have to go grab some, but it's okay. It's fine.
No.
This is my first hit of the day. I fucking hate my first hit of the day. I don't know what it is about the first hit of the day, but it attacks my lungs and my throat with the ferocity of 1,000 suns.
Dude, remember the days where you would have an e-nail sitting on your fucking nightstand and you would just take a dab right when you woke up?
And that's actually not as bad as bowls. I feel like smoking bowls is hotter on my throat.
I mean,
it
is
hurts
different.
More.
It is different for sure.
Weird to me, but yeah. All right, so I have my little bowl packed.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought you were gonna have to go get some.
Weed, but
oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to, but okay. This one's ready to go.
All right, cheers.
Oh.
Whew. Okay.
BRB, tell them what you had for breakfast today.
I had a bagel. And that is usually my normal breakfast, but I have also had a very delicious iced coffee. That was my first breakfast. I just had a bagel not that long ago. So yeah, I talked to them about my breakfast.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And I bet they enjoyed it. It was very extravagant.
I did not have breakfast. I woke up at 8:45, which is late for me.
Yeah.
But I think I was up late last night. I don't know what time I went to bed, but later than usual for sure.
Must have been if you slept till almost 9.
I know. And it was so windy last night. Oh my God. I don't know what it is about being able to hear weather. It makes me so sleepy.
Yeah. Dude, Dev and I were literally just talking about how it was windy here too. And it's windy at her house right now. And we all could not be fucking farther from each other.
It is windy as
that's
shit
crazy.
Today. Yeah, that's so weird. Funny. I feel like I saw somebody else saying it was windy and they weren't in the state I was in either. It was on their story. Did you see
there's gonna be a gnarly snowstorm in California this week?
Oh, up
in
north?
The mountains.
Up
in
higher,
the mountains. They're supposed to get 6 feet of snow. Yeah. On Friday, from Friday to Saturday, it's supposed to be super bad. Yeah. And I don't know exactly. I mean, I just know that because Dabs of Love, they live up in the mountains. And they posted about it. And then
up that close? That's only 2 hours away.
Yeah, just up, up in the. But y'all must be getting some cold.
We're gonna
weather.
have rain for sure. We're gonna have a lot of rain next week.
Is it this week or next week?
Or in a couple days.
Okay. Yeah, because they're saying like this week is supposed to be like they're getting snowed in. Like there's no leaving the house at that point, you know. And Haley,
oh my God, I bet the grocery stores are silly.
Yeah, dude, we had a situation with the grocery stores here recently where it was the ice. There was an ice storm, so there was like ice on the roads.
But like it was like a day.
It was like a day, and Adam and I like we just said fuck it and freaking like just sent it to the grocery store because we needed stuff. And so we were like, let's just go. We took Adam's car. It's all-wheel drive. Like, we were just like, let's do it. And it's not that far. It's like 10 minutes down the road. And then we got there and like the entire, randomly, I don't know why, the entire like cheese aisle was like gone. And we were like talking to this older, and everyone also, all the chicken was gone. I don't know what it is with people in chicken. I love chicken too, but I don't know what it is with disasters in chicken.
It doesn't hold better than steak.
Yeah, I mean... yeah, and I think I actually might feel like better with kids and stuff. Kids like chicken more, I don't know. But that was what was gone. And during COVID, like when we went to the grocery store, there was no chicken for like 2 weeks. We were like talking to this old man here or at the grocery store, and he was like, I don't know what's wrong with people. Like, he's like, I came here on the country roads and there was no ice. Like, but it was like this big freaking, thing. Like people were just like scared and freaking out.
Well, because of that whole thing that happened a couple years ago, I think a lot of people were underprepared for that.
They fucking were. And again, that happened. People in the city were out of power for a week. So, and thankfully go ahead.
It is so weird to me just to see the certain items that people will start hoarding because they see other people hoarding them. Like toilet paper, it started with like one or two people who just like went a little bit crazy. And then somebody saw those people grabbing a ton of toilet paper and they're like, oh, fuck, why is he doing that? And then it just became a thing.
I was going to say like one or two people that just have like a bunch of kids or something. Like they're like, I have 8 kids. I need some extra toilet paper for this. And then if everyone else just followed suit, that was the most random fucking thing. Like that was so random.
And that just shows me like how fucking stupid humans are. We don't know how to fucking act.
Americans. Because literally the whole rest of the world was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, are you guys stupid?
Yes. Answer yes. Yes, we are. But not any more stupid than anyone else. Okay. Let me be fair. But no, it's just like it's just so frustrating to me to watch human behavior and just see how vastly and fucking competent we are. If anything hits the fan, we're like 85% of the world is just going to die or kill each other.
Which is why we haven't been saved by aliens yet.
They're like, they don't deserve this.
They're like, they're so dumb. We need y'all to like get a little better if we're gonna help you.
Let them wean themselves out a little bit.
Not the fucking aliens promoting the natural selection.
Yeah, no, definitely promoting natural selection. You know what they found recently?
What?
They found these cave paintings. And so they've seen these cave paintings for a long, long time. They've known about these cave paintings for a long time, but they've recently reinterpreted what they mean. And they think that these cave paintings, they did some research, and the way that they drew the paintings, it follows the life cycle and like breeding cycles of certain animals. So like there was like this painting of like a cow or something, and it like the way that it was like there were like ticks on the wall, like numbered ticks, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but like they looked at these paintings again, and they're like, they think that they had language thousands of years before they anticipated.
And you know what? I wouldn't be fucking surprised. Like, we are just like the nature of like human beings. Like I would not be surprised.
Communicating is so important. You know?
Exactly. And we have the ability to do that in our brains.
Well, it's because we have the reason that humans can speak and we can have language and all of this is because we are really, really, really good at recognizing patterns. Humans have this innate ability at pattern recognition, and that's why we see things in the clouds that aren't necessarily there. Like, oh, that looks like a train, you know? Yeah. It's that's what our brains do. We're really, really good at pattern recognition, and that's why we are literally able to have language and speak to each other.
That is very interesting. Crazy? That makes total sense. I was going to say, too, just speaking on intelligence of humans and beings like us, there's this video that I saw of some monkeys at a zoo, which zoo.
Boo zoos. Yeah. Animal prisons, and they didn't do anything wrong.
Boo. But a kid dropped their bottle like near the enclosure, and one of the monkeys, actually I think it was an orangutan, it takes a piece of paper that was in there, a piece of crumbled up paper that's kind of in this sort of shape. It takes this piece of paper, it reaches through the fence, it
scoops it towards it.
It brings the water. It's in a little like stream. It brings the water, or I guess it's stationary water. It's not moving. But he takes this piece of paper and he moves the water a little bit, brings the bottle to themself. I don't know the fucking monkey's gender. Gets the bottle and puts it in his mouth. Like he knew that it was like supposed to go in his mouth.
Because I think they were bottle fed when they were babies.
Oh, well, oh my God. Like, that makes it even cuter.
Monkeys don't deserve to be in fucking concentration camps. Like, that shit is insane. Like, let these animals go be alive. Unless they're, like, endangered and people are hunting them.
Yeah.
Yes, create
Unless they need to be
and things
safe.
like that. Mm-hmm. But your fucking kid doesn't need to see what a lion looks like, all right? That's why the internet exists.
Yeah.
That's why it exists.
Right.
Please. If you're taking your kids to the zoo, I want you to rethink your decisions because you are supporting one of the most cruel forms of animal punishment.
Yeah. And we like think it's like, I mean, the image that we have of zoos is that they're educational.
It's like, oh, fun. The animals are just living like this.
Yeah.
Do you know how small those enclosures are?
Those animals go insane.
They need miles and miles. Have you seen Madagascar? Have you seen it?
Actually, I have.
They ran away.
I need to watch that. I'm gonna put that on my. I watched it a long time ago, and I definitely didn't. I didn't watch it all the way through, but I watched bits and pieces many years ago. But I'm gonna put that on my flight movie watching list.
It's King Julian.
Who's that?
He's like a little lemur. He's from Madagascar, and he's like king of the island. He's dope. He's fucking dope.
I hope that Madagascar doesn't have the same issue as Happy Feet in that.
No, there's no way. There's no way. I've watched Madagascar enough times that it's like very familiar in my brain. No. They casted actual black actors. They had actual cultured people on the cast.
My God,
like Chris Rock was the voice of the zebra. Okay. Gloria was Wanda Sykes.
No, Jada Pinkett actually. It says is Gloria.
Oh, really? Okay.
And Cedric the Entertainer. Still,
like there was lots of flavor on that cast. Okay, there was good flavor. There's good comedy on
Sacha Baron Cohen.
The penguins are Caucasian. All the penguins are Caucasian.
Actually, what nationality is Sacha Baron Cohen?
He's like European. He might be French.
Oh, boo! I thought he was like Middle Eastern.
Is he French?
Eastern European, Jewish descent, Israel, German. Dang, I thought.
I don't know why I assume French. It's because he does a French accent in that one movie.
Yeah, and also he kind of looks
Talladega Nights.
He looks like he could be French for sure. He definitely looks like he could be French.
I apply his character in Talladega Nights to like his real persona. I'm like, that's who he is.
And listen, because I applied Borat. So that's exactly what happened.
Mine's a little bit better.
He's Middle Eastern for sure. You're like, no, I think
he's
from
Kazakhstan. What do you mean?
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right. Stokely Carmichael. Stokely Carmichael was a social activist who protested for civil rights and advocated for global liberation of those of African descent. Born on the Caribbean island of Trinidad, Carmichael moved to Harlem, New York at the age of 11. He went on to attend the historical black college, Howard, where his passion for activism was birthed. He was only 19 when he took his first freedom ride, and he became the youngest person jailed for attempting to integrate in a whites-only counter in Mississippi. He was one of those boys that was sitting at that counter then, right? Do you remember that big scene? I wonder if that's what, because there's like photos of that day.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Carmichael later took a radical turn in his activism and famously said, "We've been saying freedom for 6 years. What we are going to start saying now is Black Power." After this speech, the phrase Black Power became the battle cry for international black liberation movements. Wow, he coined Black Power.
Wow, yeah. That's crazy.
Sick. Carmichael would spend his latter years traveling through Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean, calling for freedom for all oppressed peoples. His examples inspired a new generation of activists, including the founders of the Black Panther Party.
That does not surprise me at all, hearing that he coined the term Black Power. That's amazing.
That's fucking dope.
Stokely Carmichael.
Shout out.
Next on our list is Jane Bolin. Jane Bolin was the first black woman to receive a law degree from Yale University.
Period.
She also became the first black female judge in the U.S. So first person to receive a law, or first black woman.
She said the degree wasn't enough, honey. Put me on the fucking judge's bench. Period. Okay.
Bolin was sworn in by Mayor LaGuardia in 1933, and she championed causes for the well-being of children, including projects to eliminate juvenile crime. She also helped change segregation policies in New York.
Period.
Thanks, Jane. What a fucking icon.
I will take a hit for Stokely and Jane.
Gorgeous.
Cheers.
Cheers, MacDizzle. Thanks for putting the team on your back like you always do.
Haven't had to do this in a long time.
But every time you do have to, you step up to the plate. And for that, I thank you.
Next time we're together, we have to film like a real Two Girls, One Bong video.
Like a get fucked all the way up. Yeah.
Just do something silly, like remake one of our old videos. Just have a good time.
Yeah. Just being, yeah.
All right.
Would love to.
Next up, we have Esteban Hotese. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
That sounds right.
Saying it. Esteban Hotese was born in the Dominican Republic. He was a member of the famed all-black World War II fighter pilots. Fuck yeah, that's so badass. The Tuskegee Airmen. He left the Dominican Republic at 2 years old with his mother and sister and ended up in New York City. Little is known about his life before entering the military, and he unfortunately died at the age of 26 in a plane crash.
I was actually just there is another group of like an all-black, I don't know what the word is, but a group in the Army that was like the Army's version of the Tuskegee Airmen. And they were just talking
Tuskegee,
about it
is that how you
news.
pronounce it?
Yeah, you've probably heard that word before. Tuskegee.
I haven't. I said Tuskegee.
I know. I thought you just read it wrong, but I feel like Tuskegee, because
I've
there's
never heard
another
Tuskegee.
something in Tuskegee. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there is another, there's like another group that I was literally just hearing about on TV the other day. Well, I was trying to find them real quick, but, okay, moving on. Evelyn Scott. Evelyn Scott was an Indigenous Australian leader and civil rights activist. She helped create thank you for the bubbles. She helped create the 1967 referendum to officially recognize Indigenous people in the country. When Evelyn began her activism, Indigenous people, regardless of age, were seen as minors under the law. The colonial government of Australia saw them as needing protection, in quotes. They had no legal rights and were unrecognized on their own land. In 1971, she became the vice president of the Federal Council for the Advancement of Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders. She fought for the Aboriginal access to adequate education. Yeah, this is like, I've definitely heard of.
Not long ago.
Yeah, I've heard of how horrible it was in Australia, but this definitely brings a bit more substance.
Like, they're on par with what we were doing almost. My God.
No, yeah, they definitely were. She, got the, fought for Aboriginal access to adequate education, proper medical care, employment, housing, and the rights of Indigenous women. Scott also organized for the protection of the Great Barrier Reef. Yeah.
Leave it to an Indigenous person to give a shit about the beautiful things that this planet has. My God. It's always the Indigenous people trying to protect. Remember the South Dakota pipeline? They were standing there trying to fucking oh, my God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know, which is crazy because, like, when you think about the way that white people and Europeans thought of Indigenous culture and religion, like, you know, hundreds of years ago, they're like, these people are uncivilized. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, and it's like...
Plot twist, they knew exactly what they were talking about. You are the savage. Thank you. You are the fucking beast, please.
Well, it is great to learn about an Indigenous icon in Australia.
That is
I had never heard of her before.
Dope. I don't know much about the oppression of Indigenous people in other countries. You know, I know a lot about what happened here because
and in the Western Hemisphere because we know that the Spanish went and colonized South America but
who colonized? Was it the British in Australia then?
Yes, and the white people this is, and I guess I shouldn't just say this, but what I've always heard was that Britain sent prisoners that were prisoners in Britain to Australia as like the white colonizers. Like they sent them over there.
They sent their bad ones.
I guess I shouldn't say that. They didn't send them over there like make a fucking colony. They sent them over there to populate it, to my understanding.
Wow. Do you know that you know the TikTok audio I'm talking about? It's like and it's like showing somebody from the past and you now. It's like, hey, Oh, you're allowed to read now? Oh, that's so cool. You sent me a TikTok like this. You know what I'm talking about, right? No. I'm going to play you the audio right now.
Okay.
I'm going to find it, and I'm going to play
Yeah,
it.
more than 162,000 convicts were transported to Australia between 1788 and 1868 from Britain.
That's kind of like what
Ireland.
Cuba did. That's kind of like what Cuba did, right? Didn't they drop off a lot of their prisoners in Florida? Or was it just regular people? I could be wrong. I know Fidel Castro did some shady fucking shit. Which is crazy because people wear t-shirts with Fidel Castro's face on it like he wasn't a fucking terrible person.
He's like one
like
of
he was
those...
trendy for a moment.
Yeah. I think because some people like...
An actual dictator?
Right. And I think that he is a sort of face of communism. And obviously not a good one. But I think that some people now may, but every Cuban I've ever heard of fucking hates Fidel Castro.
As you probably fucking should.
Like they view
who's a dictator.
Him, yeah, they view him as their Hitler. Like they fucking hate him.
Like he probably did so many. Like we just don't even know all the fucking humanitarian things that he did. Okay, so look.
Right. Oh. It's like playing, but I know the song you're talking about now. It played for enough that I know.
So you know like how it is. It's like women in the 1800s looking at me. Oh, you can work now?
Yeah.
So somebody did that. It was this British guy. He did it. He said it was like his ancestors looking at him. He said, "Oh, what are you doing?" He said, "Oh, just booking a flight to go out the country."
Oh wait.
And the
and he's like, "Oh."
Ancestor says, right, to take it over.
Yeah.
He said, "No." And I'm glad that he's poking fun at the fact that they were the worst colonizers to ever exist on the planet.
That's funny. I actually saw one as well. It was a black woman, and it said like my ancestors, and they're like, "You."
Oh, was she dating a white man?
No, she's not. She is into like BDSM, and so she has like restraint devices,
chains
like
and whips
and so it says like my ancestors, like they make you keep this in your house, and she's like all like embarrassed. She's like, no.
There was this other one I saw where this black lady, she was dating this white man, and the ancestors were like, "Oh, so they're nice now?" And the girl just says no.
God damn.
Should
we move on down? Yeah.
Let's please, yes. All right, we got. Oh yeah, please. We went through 2, didn't we? I'm gonna read while you bong rip.
Yeah, please do.
Robert Smalls. Wow. All right. Robert Smalls was born enslaved in North Carolina. It is rumored that his slave master's son was his father. That is disgusting. The amount of rape happening to these women.
It's horrible.
Disgusting. Anyways, Robert was shown tremendous favor compared to other slaves, saw little labor, and even ignored slave curfew laws while out at night with white companions. When he was a teenager, his mother demanded that he spend time working in the fields to experience hard labor and witness slave beatings. Robert was eventually rented out for work in Charleston and spent time on the docks in varying roles where he learned about sailing. During the Civil War, he worked on a Confederate ship that he eventually stole and sailed 17 people to freedom, including his family.
Wow.
Period. After this daring mission, Smalls, along with Frederick Douglass, convinced Abraham Lincoln to allow black men to fight for the Union. After the war, Smalls bought the plantation he was raised on. He also opened a school for black children, and started his own newspaper. He spent 9 months after the war learning to read and write in English, and he spoke fluent Gula, taught to him by his mother. So I think that must be like a native language that they were somehow able to keep
Island
for a fucking
Creole
while.
English.
Okay. He was selected to the South Carolina House of Representatives, where he supported a bill to provide free public schools in South Carolina. He was also elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, where he served 2 terms.
Fuck
That is badass.
Yeah, that's
fucking
pretty
stole
fucking
a ship.
Dope.
Stole a ship. He said, "Fuck y'all." That's fucking dope. No, because they really did. The Confederates really tried to use black slaves in their army. Like, are you dumb? Yes. Answer yes. Answer yes.
Yeah.
Answer, you think that black people aren't fucking smart enough to pull a swift one on you? Wrong. You were, oh my God, not Hannibal Lecter behind you.
Oh,
it's Remy.
Bitch, you scared the shit out of me. Oh my God. I was like, hi, baby. She waked up.
Have you seen that one?
She waked up.
It's like when he gets wheeled out and he's like in his little, he has like a face mask on because he bites people.
No.
He's very
I
funny.
have not seen that one. You'll have to send it to me. Okay, next on our list is Queen Nzinga. Nzinga was the queen of the Mbundu people of present-day Angola. The Mbundu people are one of the oldest and largest ethnic groups within Angola, and they remain within the region to this day. Nzinga's father showed her incredible favor by allowing her to be at his side as he governed, and he even brought her along as he carried out military battles. Nzinga was trained in archery, hunting, and diplomacy alongside her brother, from whom she would inherit the throne. When Nzinga was queen, the transatlantic slave trade began nearing her shores. She knew that her kingdom and people were in danger. Wow. As the Portuguese arrived in the country, she used her impeccable diplomatic skills to outwit them. Nzinga had learned to speak fluent Portuguese from a priest that her people had taken as prisoner, and she pretended to convert to Catholicism to form diplomatic treaties with Portugal. This led to peace and protection for her people while other tribes were being conquered and sold into slavery. Wow. Once the Portuguese turned on Nzinga and broke the treaties they made with her, she led successful military strikes against them. Through her brilliant strategies on the battlefield, her armies were able to keep the Portuguese at bay for more than 40 years. Wow. She's regarded as one of the greatest military leaders in history and a true hero of Black freedom.
That is... Yeah. The last two, like, tickled my belly. Like, those two, like, wow. Wow.
It's really amazing.
Oh, my God. I love a crafty queen. Mm-hmm. I love a clever, crafty queen. Mm-hmm. And those dumbass Neanderthals had no idea what you were doing. They had no idea, my love. My God. All right, taking a bong rip for Queen Nzinga and Robert Smalls. That is so cool that Robert Smalls and Frederick... I didn't even... Like, you know Frederick Douglass, obviously, but you don't really hear about Robert. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Totally. I know. I mean, yeah, every single one of these people on this list, I'm like, wow, how do I not know who you are? Because I feel like, obviously... in fucking white American history classes, you learn about fringe fucking people. Like, you learn about fringe, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many names that we learned about, and I feel like you only learn about a handful of Black people.
Well, they only tell you the stories that paint a certain picture that don't make anyone feel too bad or hurt too much.
Of course, right. And thank God, and I thank fucking God that I mean, even though obviously our history is so watered down, but I am grateful that I grew up in California in, the days before this fucking stupid woke politics, or the opposite of that, I guess. Like, the people that are like, you're not allowed to learn that Black people exist at all. Like,
the thing in Florida is called Stop Woke. The Stop Woke Act or whatever. That's the thing that Ron DeSantis is doing. They're trying to stop critical race theory from being taught in schools. Like, all of that shit. It's so... Anyways.
Yeah. And we could get so far into that. But
if Black people have to deal with the repercussions of what their ancestors went through, I think white people can. Mm-hmm. And they can hear about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the very least. You're telling me
I think they can handle hearing about it.
Good God. But
I don't feel like I'm any worse of a person knowing that I have terrible fucking ancestors. You know what I mean?
No. I completely agree. And a person who knows that they are not a part of the problem, or that what they're doing whatever they can to not be a part of the problem, is not going to be bothered by knowing... It's the way that we're bothered about knowing that this exists is the fact that it fucking happened and how disgusting and horrible that is. Not that somebody's trying to make me feel bad. Like, that's not
No, like, these things happen and we need to fucking acknowledge that. Yeah. And I feel like acknowledging that, just like, people lack so much fucking empathy. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm going to go on a little tangent really quick of like a weird sidebar story. But I remember one time I posted something on my story. And some girl messaged me and like was being super fucking mean. And I was like, what is your problem? Like, what's your deal? She's like, well, I'm just an empath and I can tell you're full of shit. And first and foremost, I just want anyone to know, if they're a self-labeled empath, empaths don't try to make people hurt. That is like the number one thing that they fucking avoid, because why? They feel other people's pain. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I was just so fucking understand. I'm an empath. I can tell when you're full of shit. I'm like, what the fuck? An empath would never fucking say that. You're just a mean person. That's what you are.
Yeah.
Anyways. But like, I just feel like society in general, like there's just so many people that lack the empathy to even acknowledge that something bad happened. Like,
yeah,
it's
or
just
that
a
we
lack
should
of
care. Like,
yeah. And it's just like, bro, like what? My life is not worse because I know that my ancestors were fucking horrific.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it was something that I had to grapple with and come to terms with and understand and make changes in the way that I think about things.
Mm-hmm.
And recognize that I'm privileged in certain situations. However, it did not make this the huge impact on my life. You know what I mean? Like, get over it. Get over it.
Yeah, because you can't. There's nothing you can do to change history. It happened.
It did. All right. Now we got Fredo Lamb. Wilfredo was born a world-renowned Afro-Chinese Cuban artist who built his career around reviving the Afro-Cuban spirit through art. Known primarily as a painter, he was also a skilled printmaker and worked in ceramics and sculpting. Lamb's father was a Chinese immigrant, but he was raised in his mother's rich Afro-Cuban heritage. His artistic interests took him to Spain, where he studied under Fernando Alvarez de Sotomayor y Zaragoza, Salvador Dali's teacher. Oh, okay. I guess that's a big deal. His years in Spain led him to friendship with Pablo Picasso and other famous European painters of the era. He also spent time living in France, where he was an intricate part of the thriving art community. His early works were heavily inspired by Spanish modernist painters, but he would go on to develop his own surrealist style. After more than 20 years in Europe, Lamb returned to Cuba and was disheartened to see his Afro-Cuban culture at the risk of being erased. Black bodies and African customs had been degraded and used as tourist props. The power of blackness that his mother and grandmother had taught him was evaporating across the land. Lamb began reaching deep into his African heritage, creating figures in his work that fused human and plant elements, influences that came from African poetry and culture. In solidarity with the Cuban Revolution, he gifted a painting to the presidential palace that currently hangs in the Museo Nacional de Bellas Artes in Havana. Lamb's work can be found in fine art museums all over the world and held hundreds of exhibits in his lifetime. We have a quote from him. It says, "I wanted with all my heart to paint the drama of my country, but by thoroughly expressing the Negro spirit, the beauty of the plastic art of blacks. In this way, I could act as a Trojan horse that would spew forth hallucinating figures with the power to surprise, to disturb the dreams of the exploiters." Wow. That's crazy, because we don't learn about these fucking people. Like, why? Why is he less significant than Pablo Picasso?
Right. Totally.
The man was in the same circles as him. Like, why am I not learning about this person? That's frustrating to me. I feel like we've been robbed in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I completely agree. Robbed is a great word. The next person on our list is Mary Kenner. Mary Kenner was born in North Carolina and is the inventor of the sanitary belt. 30 years before the invention of the sanitary pad, Mary created a sanitary belt that included a moisture-proof pad pocket attached to it. Due to racial discrimination, no company would distribute the product because she was a black woman. Mary also invented the toilet paper roll holder that is mounted to bathroom walls all over the world. In her lifetime, she held 5 patents for household and hygiene products.
Bitch!
That's crazy.
Yeah, y'all were being nasty, dusty with your fucking toilet paper, and this woman came along and said, no! Enough is
right,
enough.
like, what were people doing before that? Like,
probably what I do and just leaving it on the back of the seat.
Dude,
my toilet paper holder fell off the wall and I haven't put it back up.
I had a conversation with my dad a while ago that was like, he said how my brothers would never put the toilet paper roll back on the thing ever. Like if it ran out, it would always just be sitting next to the toilet or sitting on the back of the toilet or whatever. And he was like, and I even got the ones where you don't have to take it out and put it back on. All you have to do is slide it off. It's one side is open, all you have to do is slide it off and put it back on. And he said they would still not fucking put it on there. And literally like maybe 2 days later, Adam does the same thing sometimes. Sometimes he'll put it back on, but most of the time he doesn't. And like 2 days later, I sent my dad a picture of the freaking toilet paper roll sitting on the, like an empty one on the thing, and then a toilet paper roll sitting on the sink.
If I have a son,
yeah,
he will do all those little things.
Yeah,
but they will be ingrained in his brain.
Yeah, you have to do it too, though. That's how they learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and Rajul does too.
Right. So yeah, they have to like see it. Like if your kid continuously sees the toilet paper roll sitting on the back of the toilet, that's what they're gonna do.
Why does it matter? But I grew up in a house where that was never my truth.
What?
My parents always
put it back on.
Put their toilet paper rolls up. Always. I never went into a bathroom. Like sometimes it was empty, but it was never.
So who would do it in your bathroom that you used? Your mom would just do it for you?
I think I would do it.
Oh, okay.
I think eventually I would get fed up enough, and I would finally, because I shared a bathroom with my brother, and I think I would eventually get fed up enough and just do it. Didn't you share a bathroom with your grandpa? I forgot you said that.
I did share. I mean, I shared with it was like before my grandpa moved in. I pretty much shared with like my sister when she would live there, and then the boys used all the other bathroom. They always used the other bathroom.
That's good.
Yeah.
Boys' bathrooms are gross.
Yeah. Disgusting. Literally disgusting. You know what I was going to say too? Okay. I was thinking about you because to completely go off track with nothing that we are doing right now. Your story of all the cans sitting on your nightstand in a much like lower, minor, simpler scale. I don't have very much room on my nightstand because there is a lot of stuff on there. I have like a lamp, like a book, a candle, a fucking lotion, an Aquaphor. There you go. But I had a coffee cup sitting there.
How old was it?
No. It was like 3 days old.
Okay.
But it was the only place that I could put my water. And so I was then putting my water on top of the book, and it just made me looking at I removed the coffee cup after like a few days, but it reminded me of that because I was like, there's only one place I really only have one spot that I can put my water bottle, and like it was being taken up by the coffee cup. So,
yeah. Sometimes you just run out of real estate.
Have you taken your cans though?
No.
You need to go put all those cans in a grocery bag and throw them shits in the trash.
Yeah, I'm working on one room at a time. I had a bunch of cans in a lot of rooms. All right, did the living room.
I bet you that'll take you no more than 5 minutes to do the entire house if you went and got all your cans.
For just the cans, but honey, it's more than just cans.
Yeah, I mean, right. I was just thinking of the cans. I think you're up next. Yeah.
Let's get her done. All right. Ignatius Sancho. Ignatius Sancho was a British composer, businessman, writer, and abolitionist. He is the first Black Briton to vote in a general election, and he did so twice in his lifetime. Born on a slave ship, they were taking pregnant women and...
Yeah.
I mean, we knew this. They were doing way worse than that, but born on a slave ship to his mother, thank you, they said a mother who would eventually die. I don't like the way they said a mother instead of like his mother.
Yeah.
That wasn't just a mother. That was his mom.
Yeah, I feel you.
A person. You know?
Yeah.
Born on a slave ship to his mother who would eventually die and his father who chose death over slavery.
Damn. Oh,
bro. He ended up doing domestic work in Britain as a child. He published various collections of musical compositions and owned a general store. Wow. Sancho used his influence and status to encourage notable Britons to stand against slavery by writing letters in opposition of the barbaric practice.
Dope.
I really respect these people because it seems like some of these people got a certain amount of privilege in their lifetime that other Black people obviously did not receive. And I respect the fact that they didn't just sit in that privilege and they used it to try to, make some change.
Absolutely.
That's what you need to be doing, white people.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's like I wish everyone had, the courage to do everything that they possibly could with what they have. Rosa Clemente. Rosa Clemente is a Bronx-raised Afro-Puerto Rican activist, professor, scholar, journalist, and politician. Clemente is known for her radical work in communities of color and her fight for Puerto Rican independence. She's also respected in the academic world, having lectured in universities around the country. In 2008, she was a vice presidential candidate for the Green Party. She, along with Cynthia McKinney, made history by being the only black woman-led ticket for the presidency in U.S. history. I wonder what Rosa's doing now.
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
All right. I just took a rip.
Nice.
Matthew Henson. Matthew Henson was an explorer, writer, and the first man to reach the North Pole. Why don't we know this?
This is the exact dude.
He was born in Maryland to parents who were free people of color before the Civil War. Okay, so his parents were already free. That's so complicated. Like, because I know some slaves were able to gain their freedom, but I don't actually know how. Some ran away to freedom, some earned it somehow. I don't know. It's all very complicated.
Earned it. Yeah.
Earned it, right? You earned your freedom. Sorry, we took it away from you, but I guess you can have it back.
Yeah.
By the age of 12, he was working at the docks in Baltimore, where he traveled to various African countries, China, Japan, and even Russia. Henson was eventually recruited by the explorer Robert C. Peary to accompany on an expedition to Nicaragua. They would go on to forge a 20-year partnership with a mission to reach the North Pole. After spending years in the Arctic preparing to reach the geographic North Pole, Henson became fluent in the Inuit language and traded often with their people. He was also taught the art of Inuit dog sled driving and is known as the only non-Inuit to have mastered dog training and sledding in this particular fashion. That's a dope. Huge honor.
Yeah,
that is
pretty
like
cool.
When fucking other cultures share like something super sacred like that. That is such a massive fucking honor. Like he must have been that fucking guy.
Totally.
In 1908, Henson and Peary left Greenland, accompanied by a group of Inuit men, women, and children for their 8th attempt. Children were trying to reach the North fucking Pole, girl. What the fuck? I'm questioning parenting choices. Women and children for their 8th attempt at reaching the North Pole. Peary was sick and exhausted, and Henson went ahead of him to lead the way and made it to the North Pole before anyone else in the group. Upon returning to the U.S., Peary was given all the credit for the mission, and Henson was largely forgotten about. The guy who, like, got in with the indigenous people, learned their customs, found a way to actually travel there via dog sled. Ungrateful Caucasian, because Peary really could have done something about that. Yeah. His counterpart could have said something. He didn't have to take all the credit.
Yeah.
He could have been like, oh no, that's not right. This fucking guy got there first, actually. I was sick. Bullshit.
It is bullshit.
And Henson was largely forgotten about. He went on to write his own autobiography, A Negro Explorer at the North Pole, and spent 30 years working for the U.S. Customs House in New York at the request of Teddy Roosevelt.
Well, I'm glad he was recognized.
I'm glad he got a little bit of recognition from our boy Teddy. Shout out Teddy. But, like, Jesus Christ. Like, this is why we don't know about him, because they erased him. They said, oh, no.
Yeah.
The white guy, though. The white guy.
Right.
He's chill.
Stupid. Okay, the next person on our list is Maria Remedios del Valle. Maria was an Afro-Argentine wife and mother turned soldier in the Argentine War of Independence. Yeah. Maria, along with her husband and sons, traveled with the army as it fought to liberate Argentina from Spanish colonial rule. They were most likely recruited to travel with the army to carry arms, cook food, and to give medical care to soldiers. Maria requested permission to tend to soldiers on the front lines, but she was denied the opportunity to do so because it was believed that women did not belong in battle. She defied these orders and went anyway. She would tend to the wounds of soldiers who had been shot. For her bravery, she was given the rank of captain and recognized by the army, making her a soldier. Maria would be shot and captured by the Spanish and held as a prisoner of war. While captured, she aided many soldiers in their escapes. After the war, the Argentine government denied her compensation for her service because she was black, and she died as a homeless street beggar. Not loving that verbiage. In 2013, Argentina declared November 8th as a nationally recognized day to honor Afro-Argentines and Black culture. Maria Remedios del Valle is now celebrated on this day. She is referred to as La Madre de la Patria. She is credited as the mother of modern Argentina.
This actually makes me like really emotional because she didn't get to see that.
Yeah, it's really sad. There's so many people, I feel like, that never, ever got recognition in their lifetime. And then, thank God, eventually, way later, somebody was like, no, this is someone to be celebrated.
Yeah, but I guess they're not all going to have happy endings. Many won't.
Yeah.
But
it is really
Christ,
sad.
Like, that is crazy.
She died on the street.
All the work she died on the street begging for money.
Yeah, it's really
homeless.
sad.
Like, she literally saved lives, and y'all couldn't just like give her a place to rest her fucking head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyways, let me just take this fucking rip. Okay. You're taking the next one.
I will take the next one. Do you want me to start reading? We traded last time. I got all the girls this time, and you got all the men.
Yeah, go ahead. You could read.
Next on our list is Frederick McKinley Jones, who was an inventor born in Kentucky, and he would eventually settle in Minnesota. He became a mechanic at 14, and this is where his passion for building and fixing machines was birthed. He also did repair work on furnaces, farm equipment, and steamships. He enlisted in World War I and was placed in the all-black units. Once word of his repairing abilities were known, he began to travel around repairing anything that was broken. After returning home, Jones taught himself about electronics and began to tinker around in building devices, leading to some of his first inventions and projects. He built a radio transmitter for his town and a soundtrack unit to accompany the sound technology for films. He went on to receive his first patent for a movie theater ticket machine and would go on to receive over 60 patents in his lifetime. His most notable invention was a cooling unit for trucks that allowed for the transportation of perishable goods. That is what my dad does. That's crazy.
Why don't you know about this guy?
I know. That's freaking nuts.
What the fuck?
He also invented cooling units for airplanes, ships, and trains. This would go on to play a huge role in World War II because it allowed for the transporting of blood, food, and medical supplies all over the world. He would also go on to develop a portable X-ray machine he never patented, along with portable engines and sound machines. He was the first Black American to be a member of the American Society of Refrigeration Engineers. He was also awarded, I know it's kind of very niche. That's very niche. He was also awarded the National Medal of Technology and was inducted to the Minnesota Inventors Hall of Fame. It says Fall of Fame, but I imagine it's Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah. Super smart guy, Frederick.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And like that's actually like Bill Gates kind of not Bill, like Steve Jobs kind of impact. Like you really made an impact on that war, like being able to do that. That might have actually won the war.
Yeah,
you know
totally.
What I mean?
Yeah, like I don't know who would be somebody that would be able to tell us like what that war might have looked like if we weren't able to have those things. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Moving on to Porsha White. Porsha White was an Afro-Canadian operatic contralto who became an international singing sensation. She was born in Nova Scotia to a mother whose descendants were Black loyalists and whose paternal grandparents had been slaves in Virginia before moving to Canada. She began her singing career in the church choir and was singing opera by the age of 8. She dreamed of becoming a professional singer and walked 10 miles per week for her lesson. Porsha would sing on her father's Christian radio program, give small concerts, and would become a teacher eventually. At the age of 30, she made her official singing debut as a professional, but had trouble booking roles in concerts due to anti-Black discrimination. Porsha eventually rose to international fame and toured all over the United States, Europe, Latin America, and Canada. I love that.
Have you ever seen the movie? I think it's called The Green Book.
Mm-mm.
Well, it's dramatized, and it also paints the white character as this like hero and whatever. But
what else is
it
new?
is about so it's about it's like a Black musician and a basically a security sort of manager / security, Black man, white man, and it's in during segregation, and he basically has to accompany this Black musician on a tour where he goes and performs for people, but for white people, and he doesn't get this guy is there to basically make sure that he is like safe and that they go to safe places, and there's just parts where he's like not served food, like they won't serve him food, and like they have to. The green book is this like book that has like hotels, restaurants, and things that are like safe
that are
for black
safe
people.
for black people.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, the message is like, you know, whatever, but the educational,
historical accuracy is there, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Jaime Hurtado Gonzalez. Jaime was an Afro. Okay. He was an Afro. Oh, like, here, let me do it. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, okay. Jaime was an Afro-Ecuadorian social activist and politician. He was born to illiterate parents in the Esmeraldas region of Ecuador, known for its large black population. As a boy, he worked agricultural jobs to help support his family, but he dreamed of the possibility to study and receive a formal education. He began his studies at the age of 10 and continued to support the family through varying odd jobs. Jaime went to study at the University of Guayaquil, where his passion for activism and politics grew. While in university, he served as the Association School of Law president and ran to be president of the Federation of University Students of Ecuador. This event was the beginning of his dedication to serving others. His determination for social justice grew, and he became an advocate for the disenfranchised, believing that the working class should rule the country.
As they should.
Yeah. With the backing of many black, indigenous, and working class Ecuadorians, Hurtado Gonzalez would go on to become a congressman and the first black man in the country to run for president. It's believed that Hurtado Gonzalez had a strong chance of winning, but was politically assassinated in 1999 before the election.
Politically assassinated or actually physically dead?
What's the difference between those two things? Because I think they're saying he was killed, but I think they're insinuating
that. It sounds
that
like he was killed.
Yeah, he was dead. Yeah, assassinated is death. But
I was thinking like, oh, they assassinated his character.
Oh, you're probably right. I was to me that read as party. Yeah, that read as he was killed for political reasons.
He might have been.
The term refers to the killing of government leaders and other prominent person for political purposes. Yeah.
All right. Well, damn, he might have won.
Yeah.
Bessie Coleman. Bessie Coleman was the first.
So cute.
Isn't she adorable?
Yeah.
Bessie Coleman was the first woman of Black American and Native American descent to receive a pilot license. Born to a Black American mother and Native American father, Bessie was one of 13 children. Jesus fucking Christ. She would eventually move to Chicago with her brothers and became a manicurist. Intrigued with flying airplanes, Bessie was determined to become a pilot. I could not imagine having this level of determination where you're just like the first to do it. During this time in U.S. history, there were no flight schools that would accept white women as students nor men of color. As a Black Native American woman, she had triple negatives working against her. But she wouldn't let this reality stop her from achieving her dream. She learned that women and persons of color could receive a pilot license in France, so she began studying the French language to prepare for her trip.
Wow.
Jesse Binga, a Black Chicago-based bank owner and businessman, funded her travels and schooling. Wow. On November 20th, 1921, Bessie sailed to Paris, where she would study at the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale.
Fuck yeah.
Upon completion of her studies, Coleman became the first Black American and Native American man or woman to earn a pilot's license from the school. Bessie returned to the U.S. to much fanfare from her community and would go on to become an exhibition pilot, drawing crowds of all races.
Dope.
Shout out Bessie. All right, we're running out of time. Let's keep powering through.
Nuruddin Farah is a Somali writer and lecturer whose works have been hailed all over the globe. He was born during the time of an Italian colonial rule to a merchant father and a well-known oral poet mother. His early education led him to school in his native Somalia and neighboring Ethiopia, then on to India, where he pursued university studies. Farah's novels would lead him into exile, as many of them brilliantly paralleled life under Somalia's post-colonial military dictatorship. Exile led him to living across Europe and the U.S., where he wrote and lectured in universities. Many of his works are praised as contemporary Somali feminist thought they're praised as contemporary Somali feminist thought as they challenge patriarchy within his culture. Amongst his novels, Farah is also an accomplished playwright and known for his short stories. That's amazing.
Period for being an ally to the women, man.
Yes.
Fuck the patriarchy. Because the patriarchy is bad for everyone,
And
if you
period.
want to know.
Totally.
It is. It's bad for men, too.
Yep, completely.
All right. On to our last historical figure that I did not know not a one of these people.
Me neither.
Victoria Santa Cruz. Victoria Santa Cruz was an Afro-Peruvian activist and artist who championed Black Peruvian identity and visibility across the world. She was a choreographer, poet, composer, and professor. She is credited with sparking the revival of Afro-Peruvians' connections with their African ancestral heritage, and she was inspired by the Black American liberation movements of the 1960s. Her poem, Mi Gritaro Negra, became the Black Pride anthem across Latin America. She is the founder of the dance company Teatro y Danzas Negras del Peru that toured all over the world, showcasing the spirit of Africa that was alive in her country. Victoria also spent time as a professor of theater at the prestigious Carnegie Mellon University in the United States. Carnegie Mellon is
shout
a
out
very
Victoria
fucking
Santa Cruz.
prestigious school. And I think people who preserve culture are so underappreciated, and they were not given their flowers in the right way. Like, she doing the Lord's work, as far as I'm concerned, as preserving culture. That is such a hard thing to do, and it's so important.
And one of those things that's like literally like, I cannot believe that was happening everywhere, all over the world.
Everywhere.
People were just
The
trying
Black
to
people were
erase
being mistreated
history of
everywhere.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying is that erasing culture, but that as well.
Like indigenous people, basically just a
Everywhere.
bunch of white people went around and to fuck shit up,
Yeah.
and that they did.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I thank you, Dev, to our producer, for sending us this list. I'm very happy to know more names on this list and know that the fucking black man came up with the refrigerated cooling systems for fucking cars and transportation and shit, and we still use that shit.
yep.
Obviously, it's been improved upon, but what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Right.
You
I'm
know
sure
what I mean?
it's not the exact same system as it was
They
in
said,
World
"Nope,
War II.
Don't change a thing. He nailed it.
And that would be fucking amazing. But
Wow.
yeah, really.
Bessie Coleman, first
Yeah.
Native American and black woman to become a pilot in the United States. Like, that's lit fire gang shit.
Yeah. Infuriated. Yeah. This was really
right.
amazing. I can't believe the fact that neither of us knew anybody.
Not
on
a
this
single
list.
name on
yeah,
that
it's
list. And there's
fucked.
American ones, like the what was the name of the
Yeah.
guy who was with Frederick Douglass?
Ooh, I can't remember, but
forget.
I will literally find it right now. Robert Smalls.
Robert Smalls.
Mm-hmm.
Stole a ship,
Yep.
saved fucking people. Like, that's so dope.
Yeah, and the lady from
Right.
Australia, Evelyn Scott. The
And
lady who
Queen
fought for
Nzinga?
Indigenous people. Yeah, Queen Nzinga. Yeah. Yeah.
Bro.
This was amazing. So I hope that everybody listening learned something as well. And
Drop
let's
in
all
the
try
comments
to
who your
Yeah.
favorite to learn about was.
Yeah.
Drop in the comments who your favorite historical figure to learn about was.
Period. Fuck yeah.
I really like learning about the queen.
Me too.
The
Queen
crafty queen.
Nzinga. Yeah.
Fucking love
Bad
Right.
bitch energy.
Let's both take a hit to close this baby out, right?
Sounds good. Cheers to you, my friend.
Love you.
Whew. Thanks for listening, y'all.
We will
Same
see you guys
time.
next week.
Yeah, same time next week. Love you.
And you know what I think I want to talk about next week? The church.
Okay. Sounds good.
I just read some stuff that the Southern Baptist Convention
Oh my fucking God. Wait, are you
Saddleback out for having a woman pastor.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yeah,
also
it's
about
sexism,
Yeah.
misogyny.
there's also about like 1,000 years of like fucked up church history that we have.
if you
Or more.
yeah, and if you look at Moshe's story today, he has a bunch of stuff about the Mormon Church too, which is just
Oh,
hoarding
God.
billions of dollars.
Lord.
Hoarding billions of dollars.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all.
All right, but we'll be talking about that next
Yeah,
week. So
sure will.
We'll see you there.
Love you.